Okay, so there was this 250k super high roller hand that really stood out to me. Mateos against Wilson. Now I'm a cash game player, so my commentary should be not taken very seriously. However, this hand was very interesting to me. I already seen the solution, so I'm not gonna spoil anything or anything, but yeah, I did think that Mateos pretty much is mostly gonna call here when I saw the hand on the flop right here. And then usually flush completing turns are not the highest frequency donking spots, but perhaps he can have donks here. But it's mostly just gonna check his hand. It's pretty standard on the turn right there. And a very standard call on the turn. Not good enough to raise for value or anything. River is, yeah, the king is an interesting card. Mateos is gonna check. And Wilson is going to bet. Not all in, but a pretty big sizing. 22 big blinds. Now, when I watched this, I did think, oh man, Mateos just pretty much has to call this combo, right? This is pretty much just a calling combo in my mind. Now, this clip is edited to make it a little shorter, but Mateos tanked really, really long. And yeah, ultimately he did he did say pass and he folded the hand, which was a crazy good fold because his opponent did have a straight. Now that is pretty much a hero fold, and because I did think at the time that it was a calling combo, so I wanted to do this hand because I wanted to check out if this fold is GTO. Of course you have to call there some of the time. It's not going to be a pure fold, the 9-8, the 9 of hearts. That was for sure to me, but I wanted to check this hand out, so let's do that. Okay, so this is the first time I was solving MTTs. I'm originally a cash game player, so this is my first MTT solution, and I'm not very knowledgeable with MTTs, but I was able to put the price structure here, right, as long as the percentages are right here. The range I just got from GTO Wizard's pre-solved ICM solutions, the closest one. It was pretty close, but I think soon they're gonna come out with the MTT ICM multi-way preflop solving, where you can have, you know, any custom stack distribution. So basically the ultra tier multi-way preflop solving that they have for cash games right now is gonna come for MTTs with ICM pretty soon, I think. So that's gonna be amazing. But they're having, I don't know, hundreds or thousands, so many ICM solutions, and I found one that was close enough. So these are the ranges for Mateos and Wilson, and the stack sizes. So, and then we get to tournament states. Players remaining were 13. Average stack I looked up was 42, and then I just set a specific spread here that I thought was close enough. So again, this is an AI solution, and we're gonna set the bet sizing on automatic. So I'm gonna close this because I had something going on already here. So let's take a look. Okay, so on the flop, the AI was somehow over betting and mostly almost pure checking. So it was a little bit weird, and you know, so I just set it to to Wilson's bet sizing here, which was 2.5 big blinds. But here we're looking at Mateos' range, and he's having a donking range. Okay, I'm not sure if Mateos has that, but he's a super good player, so he may actually do that. And that probably has to do with the fact that he has the bigger stack. Again, I'm not a tournament expert, but he has the bigger stack, so he can put more pressure, and ICM would then dictate that the bigger stack can, you know, be more aggressive. Even though the low jack has the big range advantage right here, but here in the nuttish region it's very, very close. And Mateos, as we can see right here, has more straights because he has the 10-7s and the Queen 10 offsuit that Wilson does not have. So that is pretty important, and that's probably also a big reason why he can donk a bunch here, including definitely his specific combo. But I'm gonna keep this in. He may not have a donking range. Just gonna keep it in. Well, just gonna ignore sort of Wilson's strategy here and his combo, because it's a mystery hand anyway. I think he actually had Queen 10 offsuit, so it should be in his range. But actually, let's just keep it like this, because, you know, Mateos probably didn't know it at the time. Let's say it like that. So we're just going to look at Mateos' decisions. Okay, so to this c-bet, the solver is raising quite small. And again, I don't know if Mateos is raising this small. I just have no idea, so I'm just going to keep it in. And yeah, his combo definitely can raise for this small sizing. He's raising so small, and again he has the big stack, and he can actually put a bunch of pressure, and is raising quite a lot, as you can see here. A lot of red. Okay, he does call, which is perfectly fine. So now we're getting to the turn where we have to customize some. So the solver is betting 25%, whereas, and that's 2.7 big blinds, whereas Wilson was betting this sizing, and that's about 50%. So with that, the solver is splitting, and I can keep that in, and let's actually check out both, because the solver is splitting so much, and maybe he is too. I think I already spoiled that the guy has Queen 10, but doesn't matter. The 9-8 is a pure and very understandable pure call. So let's just go to the river. King of diamonds. So interestingly, the solver is donk shoving a lot. I personally think that Mateos does not have this in his range, but let's keep it in for now. Okay, so we're gonna put the 100% sizing that Wilson chose and an all-in, assuming he is gonna have an all-in, because the solver is pretty neatly splitting here. Well, let's just take a look. I actually already know the answer, because 9-8. Okay, interestingly, there's a little bit of folds now. I saw that as pure earlier, but that was, I think, but yeah, it's pretty much pure on the river. And let's check it out without the donks. Yeah, because I think, yeah, a lot of players are not just gonna donk shove there, right? They're gonna be in sort of defensive, okay, bluff me mode when they have the nuts type of stuff, right? So again, like pretty pure. It's close, it's very close, but I see it as pretty pure, because also if we remove this sizing, if we assume, there might be a pretty good assumption actually that this is his only sizing, right? You just bet a half pot on the turn as a standard sizing actually seems pretty good. So, and then without a donk, I saw this earlier, it's pretty pure, like with all configurations, it's pretty much pure, quite close, and even to the shove, it's very pure. And when I saw this hand, I was like, oh man, like he's probably got to call this combo, right? Like to this, especially to this non-all-in bet. And the reason to me, yeah, seems pretty obvious. If we're looking at the value that he's blocking, we got Ace-9 of hearts, maybe some King-9 of hearts, maybe Queen-9 of hearts, 10-9 of hearts. And even nines with the heart especially is value betting this. So that's already a lot of value that we're blocking. We're just not blocking bluffs, right? The 8 is just not blocking bluffs, right? And it seems that we're gonna have so many hands that we're supposed to fold, right? That are much better folds. Even Ace-Jack of hearts. We got the Queen-Jack of hearts. These are all mixing or are pure folds already. And why? Because these block a lot of bluffs. He's gonna have to bluff a lot. Ace-10 of hearts, even mixing, right? Even checking a little bit. Ace-Queen of hearts, right? The 10, the Queen, the Ace of hearts. I mean, there's ton of hands in our range that block those bluffs. The Ace of hearts, the Queen, the 10, the Jack-10 is folding mostly. Got pocket 10s that needs to fold. So many folds and so many seemingly, you know, also pretty decent strong-ish hands. Yeah, for instance, like 9 Jack also needs to fold a lot. But again, like blocking the heart is very valuable, right? We see Jack 9 with the 9 of hearts calling. And we see 9-8 without the heart folding. So the 9 of hearts is pretty crucial. And the 8 is just not blocking any of the bluffs. All of these hands, pocket queens, ace jack, queen jack, jack 10, right? These block really a lot of the bluff combos that he needs to have. The ace queen and the ace 10 primarily. That is, yeah, like the bulk of his bluffing range. We see some 5s, right? That's sort of out of the whole blocker logic anyway, sort of. But this is just seemingly just the bulk of his bluffing range is gonna be ace 10 and ace queen. So with that logic, blocking the 9 of hearts so well, right? And the 9 of hearts, all this value, I mean not all this, it's still a bunch of value, right? Still enough value, but then not blocking any bluffs, not blocking these main bluffs, ace 10 and ace queen at all. Whereas there are so many combos that do block any of these bluffs, ace jack, queen jack, jack 10, that are mixing in a lot of folds. Then this 9-8 just needs to get pure into the calling range. The logic is pretty clear when you sort of explore the range interaction like that. And I do think Mateos is and was actually aware of this. He probably knows the main bluffs are going to be ace queen and ace 10. Right? Ace queen with the heart is pure bluffing, whereas ace 10 isn't even pure bluffing. Still, he made that fold, which I found very interesting. I really think it's good enough that he is probably drilling a bunch. I think all these top players are probably drilling a bunch in GTO Wizard too, right? And all of them, especially Mateos, is probably aware that the 9-8 with the 9 of hearts is probably just gonna have to call here. Still, he made that fold, and yeah, it ended up being an absolute great fold. And I think it was just some sort of hunch. I think this man has a great intuition for poker, and he played he has a lot of experience live, and he just sort of feels his intuition that he was beat at that time, that Wilson had value, and that he just had to fold. It's close anyway. 9-8 of hearts is absolutely, 9-8 with the 9 of hearts is absolutely a pure call. Absolutely a pure call. I think Mateos knows that. Still, he made that fold pure by intuition, I think. Pure because he thought he was beat. Something like that. So absolutely great fold by feel, I think, by having some sort of hunch about the situation, and he ended up winning the tournament, maybe because of it. Great job there, and hope you liked this video, and hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.